one of the big reasons we went after Leahy, why we went after Udo, because I felt like they had a Wycombe spirit in them when playing against them. Dan Harvey, loads of these boys, we really felt they had that Wycombe spirit in them. So to try and bring them to our football club, we felt was really important.
He's nailed it though, hasn't he, Sam? I mean, that transition was always going to be slightly tricky, and it could have gone, well, for a period it didn't go that well, let's be honest with you. But he's absolutely spot on, hasn't he? What Matt Bloomfield has done is he's given his own football philosophy, the way that Wycombe play, and goodness me, you've already said that you've seen some of the best goals, passing goals, movement goals that Wycombe have scored in your time watching them. But what he's kept is that unity, that respect, that commitment, what that feeling at Wycombe, the feeling, this is a very long question by the way, the feeling that you get when you walk through the door. He's nailed it, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely he has, and it's all about balance, isn't it? And this is why I think it took a little while to see what Matt Bloomfield's Wycombe really looks like. This time last year they were in a bit of a rut, really struggling for results. They had some injuries, and things weren't quite going to plan. The last two transfer windows in particular, I think back to January at the beginning of the year and then the summer just gone, have been excellent. I mean, some of the players that they've brought in have had such an incredible impact. I mean, you think back to January last year, I mean, Kone for one, but plus, you've got Labala, Lombard came in on loan and did really well, Butcher as well, and then the summer just gone, Dan Harvey, Caleb Taylor, Cameron Humphreys, Aaron Morley, you could go on, Fred Onyedinma. Every single player he's brought in has had a real impact and has made the team better and better and better, and they're streets ahead of where they were 12 months ago, and they've carried the momentum of last season, haven't they? We spoke at the end of last season, how they finished the season well and how they needed to continue that momentum going into this season, and despite another host of new signings, they've done that and got even better again.
But this is the point, and I know that I know that I often wax lyrical about what Matt Bloomfield's done. I mean, it's a bit difficult not to at the moment, frankly, because the results are clear for everyone to see, but he also needed the players to buy into what he wanted to do. He needed those players to buy in. And that's not done by yelling and hollering and forcing players to buy into it. Players will buy into a project. I'm using the word project even though I hate it. Players will buy into a project if they think that it's got some legs, if it's going to go somewhere. That's why they've bought into it, and now it's paying dividends to them, and they almost feed off each other, don't they? Matt Bloomfield says, come and join me, I'm going to make this team to succeed, and the players go, well, okay, I'll give everything. Once it starts succeeding, well, Matt Bloomfield's, he's almost done his job. He's got to continue, but the work is almost done to a certain extent.
Yeah, he's got the players in the dressing room that feel Wycombe. It's interesting that he mentioned Luke Leahy and Dan Udo there. They are two very Wycombe-type players, and they're two very good players, but their personality really speaks volumes as well. And I've spoken to them in interviews and off-record as well. They feel like Wycombe players, and it's interesting that they both come from Shrewsbury as well, and Shrewsbury over the last maybe 12-18 months have really struggled as a football club, I think, and that's why they've appointed Gareth Ainsworth to pick themselves back up again. And it's interesting that you mentioned they've managed to talk to Leahy and Udo and convince them that Wycombe is the place to be, and that there's an exciting project going on at Wycombe, and the recruitment has been superb. Signing good footballers but Wycombe players as well. That balance he's got is absolutely spot on. It's no fluke as to why they've won their last 9 games. They're a good team playing good football, but they're an honest group as well, and you can see that out on the football pitch.